Perro.
This is our new intro.
It's like royalty-free Green Hill Zone.
Welcome, everybody, to Tanked Up, the podcast about video games and beer. It's episode 309. I'm one of your hosts, Ben, here with Lucy.
Sonic is not a video game. It's an atrocity to mankind. So
That's fair. Fair comment. And we're here with Aadil. What do you think about Sonic, Aadil?
It will always have a dear place in my heart, and if I hear Green Hill Zone, I will always be like, "Aw," and it also gets stuck in my head randomly with no provocation. Like I'm wobbling my table with, like, just before we recorded, I just got it stuck in my head. Although now I'm gonna have to Google whether there's a song that's the original Green Hill Zone.
No, I don't think Green Hill Zone was the one. I think the Labyrinth Zone might have been one. I can't remember the Casino Zone. I can't remember which game that one was in. Industrial Zone, I think, as well. There's a few of them.
I mean, at this
There's
point, you could just say
6 or 8 examples, I think.
Zone, and I'd assume that was a Sonic one. Asylum Zone.
Yeah, Moon Zone. It could be anything, really, couldn't it, with Sonic?
Yeah.
Let's open some beers and talk about, well, more video games, I suppose. Lucy, are you drinking this evening?
I am.
You had a week off last week.
I did. I wasn't here.
Coming straight back in with some beers. Good.
Yes, 2 beers. Should I start with the West Coast IPA, or should I start with a Flanders Red? I'm undecided.
Ooh. What's the percentages on them?
I never checked that. That would make sense. Oh boy. 5.4 on the Flanders. And 6 degrees north. What are you doing? 7.3. Yeah, 7.3. I'll start with the Flanders.
Yeah, the Flanders. And then obviously the next one's coming on the next episode for everybody out there listening or viewing after our live recording for the evening.
Well, this is how I get them to listen to both. Just teasing.
That's it.
Putting it out there.
Yeah.
I opened the bottle without reading it. I'm rusty after a week off.
After 1 week.
Yeah. Where am I? What am I doing? This is a beer from the Little Earth Project in Suffolk, and it's called Stupid Sexy. Suffolk Blend number 4, and it is a Flanders style red ale.
Good reference.
Stupid Sexy, yeah, it's amazing. Stupid Sexy Flanders from The Simpsons. It's all hanging out in my head now. Him and his ski wear wiggling his arse. This is the first box I've got from a company called Bruiser, who do monthly subscription boxes, and they go around. Well, they have tons of these different UK-based breweries. I don't know if they ship anywhere else, but certainly to mainland UK. But they have several breweries that you can choose from who you want your next box from, and the breweries will, probably showcase their best beers, put in what they have to offer, and then you get the box each month. So
nice.
You can change whoever you want to get the brewery, whichever brewery you want, up to I don't know, maybe a week before it arrives. But I think my next box that I chose was from Mammoth Brewing, because depending on where you are, can't really get too many beers from all these remote places, and okay, if I'm buying straight from the brewery, probably have to pay per box for postage. So it seems like they just cut out that kind of, I'll say, the middleman, the postman.
They fill a little niche in the beer delivery world. Nice.
But Little Earth Project, who I'm actually going to be visiting next month. So Yeah, 5.4%. I'll quickly read the flavour text. We've always had a fascination with Flanders red style beers and their links to the brewing in the UK. We also love them sour, but with a rounded sweetness, complex but effortlessly drinkable. Our fourth blend contains 4 different barrels. 4, geez. With the oldest dating from November 2018 and the newest brewed September 2020. The older barrel brings more wood character to the blend, along with a touch of welcomed acetic, while the newer barrels add a cleaner, crisp acidity. They combine to create a balanced sour red ale with light balsamic and cherry fruit undertones.
Ooh.
A delight to pair with punchy cheeses and charcuterie. Don't have that today, but you know.
Just sit eating whilst we talk about
Yeah.
games, just to pair it with your beer. Nice. Aadil, what are you opening up?
I've got the El Pero Negro classic Pilsner, zesty Seville Orange. A crisp and refreshing classic Pilsner with a zesty twist of Seville Orange to deliver a fruit citrus bite. By Williams for the Brewing in Scotland, 4.5%. No pregnant ladies allowed.
What? Oh. I see.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually.
I mean,
nice. The tap room or something like that.
Hand-sketched drawing. Yeah, I just thought I'd start with something light-hearted.
Nice. I'm going to drink for this episode a Deya. You see me laughing. No G on the end. It's a DIPA. It's 8%. Start off big. Delicious and juicy double IPA, dry hopped with Chinook, Idaho 7, Motueka, and Strata. That's everything they give me. There is, again, Deya putting on some QR codes on their cans as well to take people places. Learn how we are tackling our carbon footprint through the sustainability page on our website. I assume it takes you there. So sure. Okay, fine. I will crack this open. We'll come back to you, Lucy, for the Flanders Red.
Yeah, it smells great. Ooh. Yeah, just like berries, like a bit of raspberries and cherries. It's just, it smells so good. It smells so good. But yeah, nice looking beer as well. Deep. I guess it's almost a beetroot colour. Dark beetroot.
It looks brown from sort of this distance, but yeah.
Yeah. It's got a bit more red. At the you can definitely see it when you hold it to the light. It's just looks a bit more ruby-ish when you hold it up to the light. But yeah, nice, off-white, slightly brownish head. Probably less than one finger, but yeah, it's a really good looking beer. Ooh.
How is it? Sour?
Yes, it is it's very tart. Yeah, I don't think I've had a beer this sour in a while. Seems like beers are, unless you get a sour, feels like a lot of breweries are just well, maybe it's the beers that I'm seeking out. I had a beer from Overtone yesterday, which was I think it was just labelled as a sour, and it was this is quite sweet. It's you lot are packing a lot of fruit into these things, and it's not mouth-puckeringly sour, and neither is this, to be fair. But yeah, it is more sour than it is sweet. You are getting a bit of raisin, a bit of cherry, a bit of raspberry on the flavour, but yeah, it's definitely more sour than it is sweet. Nice bit of hoppiness, but yeah, it is that sourness, which is it's a bit in your face at first, but then it falls off quite quickly, and it's like a bit of bitterness, bit of vinous quality on the end of it, slightly I guess slightly vegetal, but yeah, it's a good Flanders red ale. It's what I want from this style of beer. Yeah, I just want to drink this.
Nice. No.
Why did I come on the podcast? I don't want to be in a talking mood. I just want to sit down and I don't know.
That's it. And you've got games to talk about, Lucy. So you'll be sat there chatting away, not drinking your beer.
Wow.
Get some in now whilst we chat about ours.
Chug it.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really good. It's got a really deep, rich like quality to it. It's like, okay, you put it in 4 barrels. I think it's getting a lot of the attributes of those because you got this like slightly woody / vegetal flavor. You got a lot of fruit in there. It's just a really well balanced beer with a lot going on. But yeah,
nice. Aadil, the what was it? El Perro Negro.
Yeah. So it's a bit hazier than I would think for Pilsner. Just because normally you'd see like clear definition. You can see my fingers are kind of blurry until they're a bit closer. I'm guessing that might be the addition of the orange, just making it cloudier. The nose is great. You got that little bit of nuttiness that comes with Pilsners and lagers, but it has a lovely sweet orange on top. Not too strong, just rounding it out. Giving it a bit of a sweetness. Oh, interesting. So it's more bitter, more tart than the average Pilsner from the orange. And it does bring a bit of a dankiness into the Pilsner, which is usually a bit cleaner. And then it finishes with a light orange sweetness. It lingers with a trailing bitterness that I'm not used to on Pilsners. They usually sort of don't have long finishes.
It doesn't quite have that sort of crisp, clean kind of hits you straight away and then fades really nice and quickly.
No, I mean, now that my palate's getting used to it, it's less obvious orange, but like I said, there's a dankness as well as that orange that's coming through, and it's just giving a little more depth. It's like kind of like the visuals. What it looks like, it's yes, I just defined visuals for you. It is just like a muddied Pilsner, just like it's kind of foggier than you'd expect. It's also just like not as crisp, lingers a bit more. I'm having that light sweet orange, and then like I said, this lingering bitterness. Well, not very bitter, but for a Pilsner, right? This is really nice. It's less crisp, refreshing. 30-degree day melting on a porch. You want that like hit that you were describing, Ben. It doesn't have that. But this is definitely like this is a Pilsner that I will sup. Because I'm really enjoying the taste.
Yeah.
And again, it's doing things that traditionally on the finish feels a bit more ale-ish. Sort of just a trailing taste in the mix of slightly bitter. The dank, again, for a Pilsner, is fading now that I'm getting used to it. But this is just a really solid beer. I really like that there's a bit of tartness and then the sweetness from the orange sort of never really leaves, but it sort of tags at the beginning and tags a little bit at the end. But it's not like they haven't just like shoved oranges into a Pilsner, because I feel like it's letting the beer mostly speak for itself, but just sort of adding a little light touch.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
good. I'm going to be short and sweet with this, Deya. This is really good. I mean, we expect Deyas to be, but their double IPAs have veered more towards the vegetal, earthy kind of end. This pulls it back. This reins that back in. It's not a juice bomb. It's not full of fruit, but it's kind of in the middle somewhere. It's giving me a lovely, not too ripe kind of melon flavour. Something just a little bit sweet. You can see it's very, very light in colour. Like really, really yellowy. DIPA sort of in the centre. A pour with almost no head. It's right in the light there. But it's just very, very yellow. Lovely nose, sweet on the nose, but with a hint of dankness, only just slightly creeping through, and that follows through in the flavour. So I'm kind of hit first by what I think is going to be a really earthy vegetal beer. You know, it feels straight away like the mouthfeel and those initial kind of slightly dank flavours creeping in feel like it's gonna go more towards an end, but it doesn't. There's this sweetness that then just kind of like cuts through everything and then sits nicely underneath, which kind of, as I say, gives me a lovely melon sort of flavour, but also a hint of orange in there as well, just to give it a little bit more of a citrus kind of kick. This is exactly what I want from Deya right now. Like, you know, with them going towards those more earthy sort of notes in their double IPAs, this is where I wanted them to pull it back. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was saying the other week. I just want the juice bombs from them. It's like, do what you do best. It's like from Brew York. I don't want anything but a stout from you guys. You know?
And I suppose almost the same as like Overtone. Just give me all the double IPAs from Overtone. There's tons of breweries that just do one style so well, and you know, they want to experiment. Like Deya, they've wanted to experiment over the last sort of 2 years, 18 months, and try different things. So it's nice to see them coming back the other way again and going, okay, let's see where we can find somewhere in the middle. Or maybe it's a happy accident, but potentially. But this is great.
Nice.
And it's ridiculous. I mean, obviously it's Deya, so their can art is ridiculous. But, you know, 2 guitars running around. Of course. Cool. So we're going to enjoy these beers. We will chat more about them at the end of the episode. But let's jump into some gaming chat. And Lucy, as you weren't on last week, why don't you kick us off this week? And there's a couple of games you would like to talk about.
Yeah, briefly I will speak about Gibbon. Gosh, what's the subtitle? Gibbon Beyond the Trees, which is, I just call it the Gibbon game. And if you Google that, it'll only come up with one thing. It's on Apple Arcade now, which is, it's not quite the Google Stadia levels of abandoned. Let's call it the PS Now level. Let's call it the PS Now levels of abandoned.
No, you can't. You can't use PS Now anymore.
I can't.
Shadow Warrior 3, which released yesterday, has come to PS Now as a day one exclusive.
Yeah, this is sort of what I'm saying. It's like they haven't completely given up on it.
Okay.
It still gets a slow trickle of things, but this is probably the first game in probably about 6 months I've actually been interested in on Apple Arcade. It is I guess it's a platformer. It's a very simple, stripped down platformer. I played a demo on PC. I'm not sure if it was part of the Steam Next Fest, so maybe you can't access it now. But playing it on that, I think I played with controller. It's very simple, and that simplicity. Because I was wondering how they're going to have it on like tablet or on a mouse, and not on a mouse, on a touch screen. How is that? If you look at the game, it seems very free flowing. It looks like an Alto's Adventure, which, you know, is a mobile game. But I was like, it looks like the movement looks like complex, and the animation looks brilliant. I don't know if they mocapped a gibbon, but it's very fluid and free flowing. But yeah, the controls are very simple. I'm playing it on iOS on my tablet, where it runs mostly well. Bit of hitching, bit of frame rate dips, but way better than something like that. Gosh, what was the name of that game? Doesn't matter, but a lot of the Apple Arcade games, you know, your mileage may vary on how they run on your, depending on what model iPad you've got. And there's no way to change the frame rate or the resolution, which annoys me. Yeah, I mean, it's such a closed system. They don't even allow the simplest of things on most Apple Arcade games. I think this might have No, I think it was a battery mode or something. Maybe that limits the resolution. Who knows? I haven't tried it. But yeah, on iOS, it's one button to like basically swing. You hold the button when you just want to get your little gibbon, going hand over hand on the branches, and then you lift it. Then you lift it up if you want them to jump, and 2 fingers to run. And I've just unlocked this ability to do a sick flip in the air. So
nice.
We are Tony Hawking our way through this jungle. But it seems really short. I think I'm like 4 chapters in. They're very short and they just flow like one after the other. It's really nice flowing game. It's gonna. I mean, it's about climate change and deforestation. So I imagine things are going to get pretty dark and it's going to be like Bambi or something like that. And it's like maybe not looking forward to that part. But so far it's really fun. Recommend it, especially if you like me, an idiot, and still somehow got a Apple Arcade subscription because they paid for a year. Yeah, I recommend it, and it's beautiful. The only problem I have with it is that I can't take a screenshot quick enough whilst I'm swinging through this jungle because it's stunning.
It looks going to the Steam page for it. Not out on Steam yet. Early 2022, it says. But yeah, some of those stills that they've kind of grabbed. And it again suggests that it does get a little bit dark. It's about gibbons. I mean, it's going to touch on deforestation and stuff like that, absolutely. But it kind of almost looks a little bit like the Ollie Ollie games as well, in the way that like the movement kind of happens.
Absolutely,
like this very slick, sort of constant, almost not kind of endless runner sort of element to it, but that you are going and you are kind of, you will jump, you will slide, you will flip, you will grab, you know, doing those kinds of things, like almost in an endless.
It's exactly like that. Yeah, it's only in between like chapters where they have like, I guess, a bit of environmental storytelling where you really slow down in the action. But it just goes, and it's really forgiving. Like, I mean, it's always good when you can like, it has momentum. Like, and if you like swing at the right time and release at the right time, it goes. I mean, you even get like a speed boost when I'm doing these flips, so that feels really good. But it doesn't feel punishing if you mess up or if you fail to swing to the highest branch. There's always several levels of like canopies where it's like, okay, I didn't get the top branch, but it's very hard for me to miss the 7 other chances beneath to continue my flow and keep swinging. So yeah, it's really fun. I'm really enjoying it. So
nice.
Yeah, I'll probably finish it by next week, and
cool.
and come on here crying about the gibbons got run over by a truck, by a caterpillar truck,
smashed by a crane or something, or a digger.
Yeah, that's Gibbon Beyond the Trees.
Nice. What else have you been playing? Is that? I was going to say keep it light-hearted, but I don't know what you've been playing to know whether it is going to be or not.
I'll stick with the light-hearted one because it's a game I've played on PC. It's called. Here's another game with a subtitle for you. Gosh, what is it? Labyrinth City. This is the game based on the children's puzzle books, the French children's puzzle books. Labyrinth. Yes,
Pierre the Maze Detective.
Exactly. Thank you very much for saving my bacon. It's Labyrinth City, Pierre the Maze Detective, which is based on books equivalent to like, I guess was it the Usborne books, puzzle books? I'm probably aging and dating myself.
I have no idea what you were saying.
Usborne books. Yeah. Okay. Founded by Peter Usborne in 1973. But yeah, they were like children's puzzle books. But yeah, this is basically French Where's Wally almost. Except,
I was just gonna say, is it not just Where's Wally? But
yeah, Where's Wally? But it's really, you're finding your way through mazes, rather than just finding Wally. And yeah, I played it on PC, and it's like, okay, I've got like a 32-inch, these very detailed and grandiose mazes looked really good on that, but I'm playing it on iPad now, and it feels like there's no compromise. It still feels like, very detailed,
Nice.
and it still looks great. And I this is the way I'm preferring to play it. Just chilled in bed. It runs well, even though there's a lot going on the screen at any certain point, because a lot of hand-drawn characters and they animate, so they've literally brought the books to life. But it still runs really well on iPad. Looks great, very colourful, and yeah, just finding, going through these mazes, going on, off the well-beaten road to find like pickups, collectibles, and stuff like that. Just interacting with the world, and that's basically what it is. It's like a very pretty postcard. I mean, you're not going to be challenged going through these mazes as such. And yeah, I know that they get very involved and very large, and it's like, I'm still going on this thing. This is a really big maze, and it's like, but yeah, it's great, and definitely recommend it if you got a kid. They'd love it. And yeah, I still want to buy the book because I love like the physical Where's Wally books. I absolutely adore them, and did as a kid. So yeah, I'd love just to. And I think that would be interesting, like playing the game and then going to the book rather than vice versa. But yeah, I think either way would be interesting to be fair. But yeah. Playing on iPad. If it's not out yet, it's going to be out, I think, maybe this week, very soon. So yeah, I think it's like what, $3.99 or something. I think it's around £5 or under, and it's
nice.
That you could
That's good because it's like 12, 11, nearly £11 on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say the Steam price is awful. $10.79 is a lot.
It's, as we said, 2 weeks ago. It's the typical disparity between people playing on mobile and thinking this is what a real big game should cost, 99p, and it's like, no, people made this, and developers went into the office and did a full time working 40 hours a week probably.
It's I know, like, we'll probably have a big old topic episode on the Steam Deck when Gabe Newell hand delivers yours, Lucy. When he flies over to Birmingham to hand deliver yours.
Oh no, don't do it, Gabe. You don't want to be stuck here like you were in New Zealand. Here is not New Zealand.
But it'll be interesting to see how the PC market, or Steam becoming portable, might then affect the mobile market. That suddenly having something that you can just play on the go, okay, it's not your phone, fine, and you've got to have a piece of proprietary hardware to be able to play it, to go on the go, like the Switch, but you've got to buy a phone. Your phone's got to be capable of being able to, you could still be rocking like an iPhone, 5 at this point, and you can't play any of these games probably, but you can still use it as a phone. So it would be the same kind of thing. Spend however much an iPhone is, $1,000 or whatever fucking stupid price those things are, or like 250, 300 quid on a Steam Deck, and play it on there instead. It's interesting how those markets might knock onto each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there'll be some crossover. Especially since the Switch came out 5 years ago. I think there might be some people who, saw the fake Mario clone, or had the unfortunate time of playing that Super Mario Run and then bought a Switch, and then just like, but this is the Steam Deck. Yeah, look forward to that getting here whenever it does. So, hurry up, Gabe.
Get on the plane now.
Yeah.
Cool. I think you had another game to talk about, didn't you?
Yep. Yeah. Last one. I really enjoyed this one. Not that I didn't enjoy the other two. It's called A Musical Story. It is out, I believe, on Thursday. So yesterday.
Nice.
And it is a rhythm game, and as someone who's probably tone deaf, I am very bad at rhythm games. Anytime I've had the unfortunate encounter with a rhythm game, it's just awful. Like in, I think Night in the Woods was the worst, when May's playing in the band, and I start off okay, and then every note after that, it's just like a twang, and May just wincing, and people just wincing. It's just like, yeah, I'm awful at rhythm games, but this one did all right on. It is I guess it's like more of a visual novel wrapped in a rhythm game. It's a very simple rhythm game. You're not connecting any like peripherals. You're not getting your old Guitar Hero crap out of the closet or anything. It's literally just left and right arrow directions on the keyboard, because that's what I'm playing it on. I think it's on other platforms. I'm guessing it's, I don't know, if you play it on the Xbox, I guess it's just, I don't know, you press X or B or left and right, I don't know. But yeah, it's very simple. So it's more that audio-visual experience that you're going in there for, rather than a rhythm game that'll test your might, something like, I don't know, Guitar Hero or Rock Band or something like that. But
you're not setting this game to kind of expert and running through several songs, yeah.
Nah. It does have an assist mode, which after a few times I had messed up, it was like, we're going to turn on assist mode for you. And I was like, no. I only... That's the thing with me in games. If they say, you're crap, let me help you, I'm like, no. But if I'm like, I need help, let me go into the settings and do it myself, that's fine. But I didn't appreciate
it's the perceived judgment of the AI, right?
Yeah. So I turned it right off, and I did okay. You know, it's as I say, it's only left and right that you're pressing. At certain times, you are holding them, but that's, you know, the keys. But it's like, that's pretty much the only input that you're doing in the game. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but towards the end of the game, it does switch things up. It does switch up like the kind of UI and how you're interacting with the game, which is really cool. But don't want to say anything more on that. But yeah, it's basically set in the 60s, 70s. It's all the music, well, not all of it, but most of the music is like psychedelic rock. It's like Jimi Hendrix, the biography. Yeah, the experience. That's literally what it is. That's basically what it is. But yeah, what I really like about this is, and I think why I was able to play it without too much headache, is a lot of rhythm games, like, there's a lot going on visually, a lot of the time at the same time. Whereas this, it tells a story, and it's in this circle, and outside of this circle it's just black space, and all the story, apart from like certain interstitials, all the story, all the visuals, which is really beautiful, by the way. Go look at the trailer.
It does. It looks absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
The animation's incredible. The art's incredible. It's all told in this. Imagine like is it Looney Tunes when they burst out the circle and say that's all dark or whatever? In that circle, and everything's in there, and then it gives you a small bit of the story, and then when the notes that you have to play start, everything in that circle turns to black again. It's just like these little ripples, like a puddle, and nothing else. And it's like all your attention goes to the notes, which are presented in like a circle around that other circle where all the visuals are. So it's like, yeah, I can just concentrate on that. There's nothing else to divert my attention to anything else. So I think that's why I had an easier time with this, just visualizing the notes, and, you know, rather than all this rubbish and crap on screen, like, I don't know, shirtless men screaming into a mic, or something like that. Just it's like, okay, I can just concentrate on the notes, and I've got a, you know, clear visual, you know, representation of like, okay, these notes are so far spaced from one another
Right.
okay, I can sort of count the beat, count it in my head, count the time between notes, and yeah, it's really stunning, and it's a really good way to, in the UI, to portray a story, portray a rhythm game, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's probably, I don't know how long it took me because I have a lot of idle time on it, like 10 hours worth because I left my computer on once. But it's probably about, I don't know, it depends how good you are at rhythm games, I guess, but it probably took me about 2.5, 3 hours maybe.
Okay.
I wish the story was a bit more, had a bit more going on and moved a bit quicker, because it's the classic story of some guys quitting their job and wanting to play at what is Woodstock or whatever. It's like, we're good musicians, let's go. It's like the classic road trip movie, and it's like they're going across the states, I imagine, to Pinewood. It's calling this, and it's like, okay, like this is 3/4 of the way through, and you're like still on the road. We haven't done much to get there and have crazy hijinks like in the last third of any road trip movie. So yeah, but it's a nice story. It didn't move me as such, but I thought it was a nice little tale, and I think the visuals and the really good music. I don't know if I mentioned, which I probably should have because it's a rhythm game. It's got really good music.
Is it all original music?
Yeah.
I would assume.
It's made by a French studio, I believe. But yeah, it's got a lot of it's psychedelic rock, a lot of bass guitars, a lot of. Hold on.
The developer is Guy Cheese Studio.
Yes. Yeah, the music's fantastic.
Guy Cheese, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of like electronic music in it, and yeah, it's just it's good. It's like you can't help but like tap your foot to the beat as you're playing it.
Yeah, I've wishlisted it as you've been talking about it. Yeah, looking at some of the visuals, it was just like, yes, this looks amazing.
Yeah,
it looks great.
It really is. Yeah, fully recommend it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I gotta say about a musical story. Very good. Very good.
Nice. 3 games that you've enjoyed.
Yes. Nice. Yeah, and that's all I have to talk about. Unless you want to hear about Universal Paperclips, but
man, I should replay that game.
Yeah, I finished it. Yeah, it's very good.
Universal Paperclips. What platform were you playing it on?
I was playing it on iPad. So it wasn't really. It was only when I used my iPad when it was running. So that's why it took me like 9 weeks.
I was gonna say, because I mean, I've only ever played it in the browser, so it just like you walk away overnight or whatever. And
I'm playing it in a browser, but on iPad.
Yeah, and iPad freezes the browser when you go away, right? Nice. What have I done? I just opened it on a tab because we were talking about it.
Don't do it. Podcast. No, I raised the Earth and the universe, and I'm never going back.
Conditioned so much. Oddly, that leads me into Horizon Forbidden West. The idea of being conditioned into playing a game a certain fucking way. I've been playing Horizon Forbidden West. It's more Horizon. It's nothing more, really, than a very fantastic looking. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn looked fantastic when it came out. Horizon Forbidden West looks fucking fantastic. Like one of the most detailed games I have ever seen. But the PlayStation 4 is struggling. Yeah. It is really, really struggling with it. Like, it's fine.
Just hear it screaming.
I mean, it's not quite like, Outriders Man kind of screaming levels. But it's nearly there. It's very, very close. I'll get it out of the way first of all. There's tons of popping. There's loads of flat textures which take time to pop in, and the problem is I don't know how they've worked the engine in terms of like, I know a load of games that will render everything that's in front of you and everything behind you is just the the sort of the mesh.
I think that's what the first game did. Yeah,
Horizon kind of jumps between cameras when you're talking to people. So if you're chatting to people, it will show Aloy and everything that's behind her, and then it will jump to the other characters to show what's behind them. But obviously, kind of when it comes to Aloy, everything that's behind her has to suddenly be rendered.
Yeah.
So things will pop in, and you're like, okay, fine, I can leave that a little bit. This is not a PS4 game. It's absolutely a PlayStation 5 game in terms of its graphics. And then it will go to the other character, and that's all fine because that's all in front of her, in front of Aloy. So it's already populated. Yeah, then the camera will snap back to Aloy.
You just see a Thunderjaw just clip through her.
A lot of the stuff is already rendered, but it will get to a point where it's like, oh shit, quick, render it, and then it will cut back again. And so it's like, it doesn't quite sit. It hasn't been made for PlayStation 4. Fine, absolutely fine. I haven't had a Thunderjaw kind of clip in yet, but I have had a couple of characters walking through a town and having this cutscene, and this man just in the background going, I'm here, I'm not, I'm here, I'm not, I'm here, I'm not, I'm here, I'm not, just like constantly through this scene. And I'm like, fine. None of that really bothers me or matters to me at all. It doesn't detract from the experience because it's more Horizon. I enjoyed Horizon. I'm enjoying kind of playing it. I don't really know what to say past it's more Horizon, right? Like it kind of expands on the story. There are more machines. There are different machines to kind of get to grips with it. It's hard, like in the beginning. Like you absolutely feel like you are outgunned, which is great for at the end of Horizon Zero Dawn for feeling really overpowered and stuff, and then suddenly to be like, oh shit. Like stuff is currently, more difficult, and I feel underpowered, and it doesn't do the whole kind of like, oh, we've stripped you of all of your abilities kind of thing. It's just like, no, this is Aloy. She's like, you could just come into this game and not have played the previous one, and it gives you a little run through of what happened in the previous game. Very difficult to actually pick up what had happened. As I'm sat there like, oh yeah, what did kind of happen? Oh yeah, I remember this bit. Oh shit, what's going on now? No, I don't remember that at all. Loads of stuff which I couldn't remember. But it kind of treats the world in a similar kind of way. It populates it a little bit more. So there are more people to kind of not even like talk to in a significant kind of way. But almost every character you come to, you can say, talk to this person. And they might give you like a little one line or something like that. So it's trying to make the world feel a little bit more real.
They've caught up to Final Fantasy 1. This is the notorious thing on JRPGs where everyone has some bullshit line to say. Some of them repeat, but usually just because it's a text box, they could shove that in.
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong. That's impressive for a giant game. It means that you don't just have, the dancing boy with the baguette over his head, who's not a real character. Every character is somewhat interactable. But, like, narrative-wise, that's just that, like, kind of makes it worse almost, because it's like, we know that you want this to be a real world, but we're going to make it fucking flat.
Yeah. I think just from what I've heard at surface level about the game, which, echoes what you said, Ben, it's just more of this, which, I mean, more of, a good slice of cake is not bad.
Yeah,
by any means. Yeah. But, I think it was Khalif Adams of Spawn on Me, what he said, which I think what resonated with what I've been hearing about the game, is that it feels like they just rolled straight into the development of Horizon 2 after Horizon 1. It feels like all the negatives of the game, or all the criticism that you could have of the first game still appears to be in the second game. Which is like, it feels like they didn't just sit back and say, how can we address the issues the first game had? And I think with the first game, it's easier to dismiss or forgive because it's like, this is a new IP. It's a good game. It's excellent. It was my game of the year that year, and it's like, this is doing something different. New IP. And Guerrilla, like, shifting from FPS studio to open world RPG.
Yeah.
There was a lot to forgive about it, and it just seems like they just rolled straight through to this. And obviously this game probably took years and years and years to develop, but it feels like they didn't like iterate and edit and
very much. And there's probably a few things which they have tweaked. The combat, they put a load more into kind of like melee and stuff. To make it a bit more kind of rounded, but even then they haven't lost anything from sort of like that ranged combat, having a variety of kind of weapons and things to be able to sort of use, and the machines all have weaknesses and strengths and that sort of stuff, so you've got to kind of, or at least in some cases you can plan how you want to go about certain encounters, saying, right, I know it's going to be these kinds of enemies. They're weak to kind of like poison or acid, whatever they call it, or electric attacks, so you can kind of stack your inventory and traps and things in that kind of way to go about it. But sometimes it's a bit more on the fly. You're in the middle of a mission and suddenly they were like, oh, the machines are coming, and like, well, I have no idea what machines they are, so I just have to deal with them. And sometimes that can be really difficult because you've decided that on your weapon wheel, these are the things that you're going to roll around with, and suddenly it requires something slightly different that's a different element to be able to kind of play with. So they've tried to, I suppose, iterate a little bit in that sort of sense.
It feels like they've added but not refined.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, completely. The one thing that has kind of screamed to me as I've been playing it is that you can almost feel that every single developer at Guerrilla played Death Stranding, because Death Stranding used the Decima engine, which Horizon Zero Dawn was built on. Hideo Kojima came along and went, yep, this is the engine I want to use. I want Guerrilla's engine.
I didn't
absolutely. And then you go, oh wow, the way Aloy kind of moves across not necessarily kind of climbs across the world, but how the world is formed, and the way you can kind of ping out from the little whatever the triangle thing is she's got on the side of her head, which lets her see everything in sort of like a digital world around her. Like suddenly you can see where you can climb and those kinds of things. And it all feels, it has that sci-fi futuristic kind of vibe to it as well.
Sure, yeah.
But it very, having played Death Stranding a lot, you suddenly go, yep.
Makes sense.
Everyone at Guerrilla played Death Stranding.
That's why you share tech.
Completely.
You're sharing knowledge. You're sharing, you're saying Conan O'Brien is in this game, and I should pick it up immediately.
There's a character. I didn't think he looked so much like Conan O'Brien, but people have basically been like, is this Conan O'Brien? Has he made his way into another PlayStation game?
I just took his character model. I need to buy this game.
I'd love to play this on the PlayStation 5 because you can see on the PS4 some of the limitations. Again, like repeated character models. You go to like the first town and you see the same guy like 10 times because they have to just deal with a certain amount of memory. They can only have 10 character models in this space rather than 150, which they might have on the PS5. And that the joy of this generation has been kind of the SSD, isn't it? It's essentially in how quickly it can read sort of memory and how much it can store, sort of thing. So it's interesting to see, like as I say, the limitations that the PS4 kind of puts on this, but how much that isn't really affecting stuff. I haven't had stuttering. I haven't suddenly been like, I'm firing my bow on now I'm suddenly over here on the top of a mountain. It hasn't been that kind of nuts issues in terms of memory and kind of catching up with the game and those sorts of things. They've optimized it really, really well to be like, it's kind of visual things. You know, it's the popping of textures.
To be expected, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like I will play this game. It just sounds like there's enough where it's like, okay, I'm not gonna go out my way to play it right now, especially on hardware, which is not ideal. But I guess good thing is, Ben, you can just upgrade to the PS5 version for free.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you eventually get one, yeah.
Completely.
Mm-hmm.
And
who'd have thought in what year is it? 2022. I wouldn't buy Horizon, but I'd buy Elden Ring. Who'd have thought?
This is what I was gonna say, which is like, this was both of your Game of the Year, wasn't it? I think.
Not
I don't think it was
mine. I think it was second. After Plague Tale.
Yeah, that's right. And you, Ben, like, I just saw your hype for it just sort of plateau, like drop and then plateau to the point where you're like, oh yeah, this is coming out, I'll get it. And that seems to be your review. It's like, it came out and I got it.
Yeah.
And I'm not angry about it. And it's what I was looking for, but there's no like, I think that's see a spark in your eye, young
sequels. Man. I think that's sequels. A lot of sequels, video games, films, and everything.
Completely. Yeah. And
it's Sonic 2.
As I was talking about with like Dying Light 2 last week, it is more of that game. But I will say that for me, Horizon and the gameplay of Horizon is slightly more compelling than Dying Light. So I want to go and play Horizon Forbidden West. I think, right, I've got an hour. Do I sit at the PC, play Dying Light 2, or do I go and use the PlayStation and play Horizon? And I'm going downstairs and I'm playing Horizon instead. Because for me, that gameplay is a little bit more compelling. And the quality of Horizon Zero Dawn kind of shows through in this about how good that game was. And lots of criticism in that it's this big amalgam of open worldness from loads of different kind of influences. And Horizon Forbidden West doesn't really kind of change that, but Horizon Forbidden West does enough that it keeps you moving. So it's not like, I'm in this area, I now need to do all of the question marks. It's, I'm in this area, oh no, it's sending me over here, oh now it's sending me over here, oh now it's sending me over here. It points you in those directions to suddenly be like, right, there's a little question mark over here. The game has sent me here. It's going to take me a couple of seconds to go over there and have a look at what it is. And it might not be the most exciting thing that I go and get over there. It might be just more resources or another campfire or whatever it is over there. A blocked path, which I have to come back to once I have the correct item to be able to kind of pass that. Right. But it does it in a way to kind of say, you're here now. It's moving you through the world.
Dopamine hit kind of open world game.
Very much.
It may contribute. I mean, when I say I think the last open world game that I played was Red Dead, I'm not exaggerating. So it's been a long time. I've just been so fatigued by games like that. And after Horizon, I've played Red Dead and Breath of the Wild, and it's like, these are good overworld games. Not that Horizon wasn't, but it's like, this is just so much more compelling. So that's why I'm probably more interested in Elden Ring, to say such a crazy thing, where it's like, you're compelled to go through the game, not because there's little casino bells and whistles going off. It's because you want to see what's around the next corner. So
yeah, absolutely. You want that discovery from
I guess Prey. Would you call Prey an open world game? I don't know.
The 2016 kind of rebooted one.
Yeah, 2017 or whatever it is.
Played it.
Ish.
Yeah, maybe that was the last open world game we played in like 2019 or whatever. But it's so few that I've played, and it's just like.
As my final kind of comment on Horizon, we'll return to it. We'll talk about it more once I got through it.
And when I play it in 2026.
We'll return to it in 4 years' time.
This is really good.
It's fucking massive. It is. It's like I thought about it, and it's good you mentioned Red Dead 2. I thought it's Red Dead 2 levels of map size. I was moving through, and the game is like, go here. This is your next mission. Go up here. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to follow the storyline. I'm not going to fuck around with these side quests and stuff. I'll come back and do that when I've, want to just fuck around for half an hour or something. Like, I've got a good hour. I'll crack on with the story. And that hour took me up through the map, and I'm not there yet. I have fucked around on all of these little side bits that have kind of come up as I've seen them sort of appear. And it feels like that kind of idea of Red Dead 2, where it goes, something's happening.
Yeah.
You can engage with it, or you could just leave and not worry about it. And again, it's one of those games I'd love to know if I come back, whether that's going to be there forever until I engage with it, or if it's gone now. Sorry, mate, you missed it.
Yeah.
I imagine it's the
I don't know if
first,
it's that dynamic. Yeah. I'd imagine it's the first.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game will sell a lot. People will be very happy with it, and yeah, good on Gorilla.
Yeah, absolutely.
I look forward to seeing all the new Robo dinosaurs.
There's a lot. There's a lot. There's tons of Robo dinosaurs.
See, and I've stayed away from like all the coverage and stuff like that, so there'll be a genuine surprise for me. So.
They must have doubled the amount that are in there. So
yeah, quite
good.
Nice.
Let's finish this episode there then on Horizon Forbidden West, and we will jump back into our beers to round out the show. Lucy, the Flanders Red.
Yeah, really good. Only got a little bit left. It's just good, man. It's like it's not much else to say. This is I love this style of beer, and this is a very good take on it. Sour, but not too sour. It's got a nice bit of fruitiness, nice, like spicy undertones and to it. Really refreshing. Just I want more Flanders beers. I guess it's probably a hard start to make. I mean, they've been using barrels from 2018, so it's not like just make them, everybody. But it's like,
right.
I wish there was more, or at least on my radar. So, yeah.
That's fair.
It's really good.
Prepare yourself in 3 years' time. When everyone goes, oh, this is what Lucy wants. Cool. We need to now find barrels from this year to then wait 4 years to make them. Yeah.
Yeah. Super excited about visiting them, and I may never leave, so I may just live in Suffolk for the rest of the time.
I haven't had a Little Earth Project beer for a long time.
Yeah,
that'd
Bruiser.
Be good. Yeah, it'd be a good place to go and visit. Nice. Aadil.
Yeah.
How about your beer?
So the dankness sort of I got used to. So it's sitting more on the sweet Pilsner. Again, it's just those added tastes sort of throw me into. Sure, this isn't in like a light pale ale or something, but I like that it's you can still see some bubbles going on. It's a nice refreshing on the mouth. Excuse me, and yeah, and the orange only has gotten better. So if you're looking for something sort of Pilsnery, but a little more in season and interesting, I'd definitely recommend this beer. But if you're looking for, like, if this was the height of summer, I'd be a little more hesitant, because when I reach for a Pilsner, I want all the things that it's sort of doing differently to not be done differently.
Yeah. Nice. I mean, the Deya was just a fantastic Deya, back to kind of their best, I think, for me. Was it last year we had something Clouds or Clouds Above, or no, that's a Left-Handed Giant Beer, I think. Something that was incredible. A big pillow something.
Big hot pillow?
Yeah,
that's the one I like.
Yeah,
there's probably a bit there with clouds in it. Clouds that shape themselves.
Oh no, it's not that one. I think it must be Big Hot Pillow. Because I think one we all had last year, and we're just like, yes, this is a fantastic beer.
That's the one I like.
This You See Me Laughing is on the same kind of level. It's not. It does not the same qualities. It's a different beer, absolutely, but it's the same level of quality from Deya. I would drink this all fucking day if I could. I'll take a day off one day and I will just sit here and I will order like a 24 case of this, and that will be me done for the day.
Yes, you might be done after 4, but yeah.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? 8? Yeah, it is an 8% beer. It doesn't feel like that at all. It's, I mean,
yeah,
it's,
they never
it's
do,
full.
do they?
It's really, really full of flavour. So, yeah, it's up there in terms of kind of what it's giving to you.
Very nice.
Perfect. So that's us for episode 309. Thank you for joining us. You can get us at TanksUpCast on all of the socials. Go to outoflives.net to read the various articles that we put up, to see the videos of the streams that that Aadil has been kind of doing, or to see our beautiful faces and the beers that we are drinking here as well. I am at Nova_47. Aadil is
at the Omniarch.
Lucy is
Juicy Loose 9.
And that's it. And everywhere. Please share with your friends. Tell everybody about us. Go to your podcast service of choice and rate and review us, because it really, really helps. And also, I think we've shouted him out several times, but Tom, previous guest, has got his podcast Game Over Beer out right now, and you can hear an episode with me on as well. So if you want a little bit more of me drinking a beer, talking about some games, you can go to Game Over Beer on your podcast service choice as well. But for
I need to listen to that.
Yeah,
It's downloaded.
it's really good, man. Like,
I started. I jumped straight to your episode, Ben.
Okay.
Because I don't get.
No, I was
opinions.
talking about your episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other episode's good. I've been really enjoying listening to kind of what everyone's kind of top 3. Not in top 3, but like the games and the beers that they have been picking.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good.
I am daunted by picking 3 beers more so than 3 games. I don't know. It depends on the day.
Yeah.
I'll just do that.
But mostly I'm listening to yours.
Carling.
Of course, he picked a Cloudwater DIPA. Now I can't do that.
Yeah, because that was mine. God damn it.
Yeah.
You can just pick a specific Cloudwater Dipper. It's fine.
Fuck if I remember any of them.
Yeah.
13?
That's the problem.
I think we really liked 12.
Yes, maybe, and 4.
I think it was 13 that I really... There was one... Is that up there? I could see, because the cans are up there, because I've kept them.
Wow.
So...
What are we talking about? Like 4, 5 years ago now, Lucy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
I'm a sentimental gal.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Listener, to understand what we're fucking chatting about, go back to Tanked Up episode 100, probably, ish, and then listen to Game Over Beer as well, the episode that I feature on. But for episode 309, that has been us. We shall catch you very soon. Goodbye.
See you later.
Ciao.
I like the slight West Country tilt.
Yeah, I like that. This was
www.outoflives.net